Here we go then. Here is the next project. But this project is slightly different. It's not a restoration project, it's a repair project where I can show you what to do to achieve certain things. This bike hasn't moved under its own steam for 7 years, at least 7 years. That was the last time it was taxed and MOT'd. So what I'm going to do with this bike is, rather than restore it like I would a normal bike, I'm going to show you how do I get this bike going. How can I get it started? How do I change the wheel bearings? How do I do the oil seals in the forks? How do I make the engine look nice? How do I make the plastics look nice? How do I get the brakes working? What am I going to do about that swinging arm? What am I going to do about the stands, the shock absorber, the fuel tap, any of those things? So the plan is, here is a bike that is absolutely in desperate need of emergency attention. So that is what it's going to get, emergency attention. It's done 43,000 miles. It was last MOT'd and taxed in 2013, which is quite a while ago. I just bought it from a guy who bought it, and when he bought it he said it had MOT on it. Nice guy actually, but he never got round to doing what he wanted to do with it. So I'm going to resurrect it and show you what's involved in getting it going. So imagine this is your bike. Imagine that this is your bike which you used last year. You left it in the garden under a tarpaulin, and now you've pulled it out because you want to go riding with your mates. What do? It won't start. What do you look at? I'll show you how. First things first, as you can see, look, no battery. So I'm going to get a new battery for it, put that on, and then take the tank apart, because there won't be any fuel in the tank, and if there is, it's absolutely useless. And then we're going to have a little go, and then you can hopefully enjoy listening to the bike when it starts and runs, and then we can actually get used to using it. Now I'm going to try and use as many methods which are easy for most people to do. I don't want to use special tools if I can get away with it, and I want to try and make it obvious for anybody how to do a repair on their bike. That way then it'll help ordinary people, ordinary motorcyclists. If you have anything you'd like me to look at particularly, let me know, and I'll see if I can do a video on it for you. Alright, so there you go. So here we are then. First things first, we want to get the fuel tank off. If I can get the fuel tank off, then we can actually look at the carburetors and the layout of stuff generally. If they just prise off, you may as well take the plastics off as well, because to be honest with you, that'll give you more of an opportunity to get in to the stuff that you're going to be looking at. If it's easy to take stuff off, take it off, get it out of the way, and it makes it easy for you to do anything else. If it's a swine to do it, then don't do it. Look how easy it was to remove those plastics. So easy, and yet once they're off, look how much room you've got for other stuff. It only takes 2 minutes to put it back on when it's finished, but it gives you the opportunity to look at everything all around. That bolt, take them out. Fuel tap's there, so you've got to disconnect the fuel tap. Looks like there's a few hoses on this particular tap. This tap works really well. Unusual, because I expected it to be seized up. That looks like the ignition unit. Wiring all appears to be in good condition. Battery's not missing, but I mean, hey ho, the battery would have been dead anyway after 7 years. So I'm going to get a new battery to fit in it. Take the tank off, then we'll be able to get in and have a proper look. We'll rig up a dummy tank, because obviously we're not going to use this one. We'll rig up a dummy tank so we can adjust the carbs whilst we're running it. So those two bolts off, disconnected the hoses at the filters here, look. That allows us then to gently pull the tank up out of the way, put that away for external looking at. And then look at the room it gives you. Carburetors, coils, plugs, cables, filter, everything. So in 2 minutes you've got yourself to a position where you can actually look at any particular part of the bike. And then obviously when it comes down to getting it to run, it's easy, a lot easier. Look at the corrosion that 7 years has dealt out to this poor old bike. 7 years. 7 years and 7 sons. Yeah, so a little tiny bit of WD is going to be employed here in order to get those carburetors free. Now the twist grip don't turn. So obviously the cable at the carburetor end is seized. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to free that off. I'm not going to do anything too dramatic. I'm just going to free it off so that it works, because I want to show you how to get this going if this was your bike, and then I'll restore it afterwards. Well, update to the getting the carbs freed off. Yeah, it was a really easy job. The carbs had to come off because absolutely no way, seized up. But the good thing is I got both cables off, choke and throttle, and they're both working perfectly. In fact, it looks as if the throttle cable may have been replaced when it was last used. But the carburetors, well, one of them, that one, I could probably fix that one. That's not too bad. This one is, and when I say seized, I don't just mean seized, I mean seized. So this carburetor is BER, Beyond Economical Repair. So before we start, I want a set of carburetors. Oh my god. And these are very similar to the carburetors I've just overhauled for the BMW, but they're not the same, so they can't be exchanged. So I need a set of carbs. So we'll get a set of carbs, we'll put it all together, and then engine. I've taken the plugs out. The plugs actually don't look that bad. I mean, they're fairly rusty externally, but they're not too bad. If I look inside the engine, which I have done, it don't look that bad. The oil is brand new. So obviously this bike, before it was stood up, was in quite a nice nick. The chain is brand new. The disc on the front is brand new. That exhaust is fairly new. And these are all WOS. You know, so somebody has spent a bit of money and time. See, look there, fairly new. All I've got to do is revitalise it. I think the engine will be alright once it's a runner. But we're stuck on the getting it going for a minute, because one, I ain't got a battery, and two, I haven't got a set of carbs. So I'll get a set of carbs, I'll get a battery, I'll set the carbs up, put it back to where we were, and we'll start her up. See you later.